Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert. I co-host the Kanye West podcast, Watching the Throne. And on today's video, we're going to be talking about leaks, something that we have talked about on the channel before, and kind of the etiquette that I had in mind when it came to leaks. But it's not something that we've really heard about from anyone in Kanye's camp, especially specifically regarding the leaks of Yandhi or some version of Yandhi. And now we have Pusha T weighing in, saying it ruins all that we have in store, which is kind of sad, right? Because I think with the leaks, we as fans tend to get really excited and just think that this is insight that we're getting. We're getting to hear something early. We think more about the hype and the experience, especially the short-term nature of that experience. And just, it's like a sugar rush, right? But not necessarily the long-term cost of that. And in the digital age, it feels like leaks are easier than ever before, especially when you can fucking purchase them. So I think that fans, especially with Yandhi, where we were promised the album on a certain date, and then that date came and went, we were given another kind of time frame that came and went, another time frame that came and went, where it's almost a year now, and fans are just kind of like so anxious to hear the album and so wound up that you pay money. And again, that sugar rush of, okay, I finally got to hear it, but what's the longer term cost? You know, it ruins all that we have in store. Like, you think about Kanye in 2004, the college dropout leaked, right? But it wasn't as widespread, I don't think, given what the internet was at that point. So despite it being kind of crushing that the album leaks, it's not the same thing as it is today, where so many people can have instantaneous access to it. And Kanye then had something to prove and had been working on the album for so long, he could have just scrap it, which is why he went back into the college dropout and just fucking redid it and made it even better, right? Would he do the same thing with Yandhi at this point? Does he need to? Or would he just go back to the drawing board, which he's done before? So it's kind of rough, and hearing Pusha say something like that, you're kind of like, oh no, did we just miss out on what Yandhi would be? And I'm sure there's somebody that's listened to the leaks that's been like, yeah, well, if you heard it, I don't think we're missing out on much. Leaks are leaks, they're not the final version. And that's kind of the problem, right? We're hearing something unfinished and judging what it would be based on what it is at that point, not what the final product might be if Kanye goes back in and cleans it up, does his thing, like makes a few more changes. That's the difference between something that we're just like, this is amazing, and something where you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. But this tweet from Pusha, let's get into it. You have nowadays loser, Ajamu9, Ajamu9, one of them. The real question is, who's leaking all of the 2018 Ye recordings? Very suspicious. Could it be a corporate entity, EMI, Def Jam, a disloyal friend collaborator, an angry producer? The entire Yandhi album is on YouTube, LOL. What's going on? And Pusha responded to this. So this article is generated from this tweet. I hate it. Luckily, we are talented beyond measure and can always cook up more, but I honestly hate it for the sake of making an event of a song or project. It ruins all that we have in store for you guys. It's just this idea that Yandhi was going to be this event. Or maybe speaking generally, and maybe we should apply it specifically to Yandhi, but it's not the first time that I've been told that there's something big in the works regarding Yandhi. That was one of the things when I was doing the piece on Brothers and why Brothers never came out. I was told by Seven Aurelius that Kanye's contact, the person that he's working with, was saying that they didn't want to be forced to release music outside of the schedule that they had in mind for what they were going to do with Kanye's next album. So it seemed like they had some kind of plan in place. And does this alter that? Does this change that? Do they go back to the drawing board? I hope not. But you can understand why there might be a bit of a disappointment there that deflates whatever was building. And especially Pusha here, like, you know, we can always cook up more, but there's some problems. Speaking of problems, XXL, you're stealing significant memory. So I think it's just interesting. Some more thoughts on that. Again, for leaks, I think if the album has been out for a while, leaking of something or looking at unfinished tracks or what was it going to be used could be is more viable or defensible to me at this point. I could change my mind on that. You know, I could hear from Pusha T and he'd be like, no, it's never good. Or Kanye would be like, it's never good. Or some other artists, and just a ton of artists would be like, it's never good, no matter when the leak is. That I kind of could see, but I also feel like there's a certain point where they maybe let go of stuff and they don't mind that it does leak. So if the album's been out for a while and we get something unfinished from that, like Bound 1 or something from Yeezus at this point, right? That seems fine to me. But if it's still unfinished and still something to be worked on, I think we just avoid it. We just let it go and know that there was an opportunity, but it's not what the artist would want, not what the artist intends, and just kind of let it pass by. Yeah. So that's kind of my stance on that. And one of the cool things, if you don't mind my tooting my own horn a little bit, it was actually me that kicked off a little bit this tweet happening. So I had put, yo, Push, want to talk your new single and other stuff on a podcast and for a piece on Forbes.com, which I'm just throwing out to so many people these days. And it was a Jamu 9 that responded to that, and then Push responding to that. So that was kind of cool just to see. And that's it. That's all I got. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, anything more, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. We're going to be doing, if anybody's still watching at this point, an AMA tomorrow. So if you have questions for the AMA, go ahead and leave the comments here. I'll also make a post on Twitter that you can respond to, and on Instagram, and also in the YouTube, like my channel page comment thing. So yeah, lots of places to ask some questions, and we'll be doing a live stream too. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, stay wavy, keep it loopy, and we will talk soon. Cheers.